up and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to test out the new Catrice Poreless Perfection Mousse foundation. So if you consider buying this foundation and you really don't know if it's worth the money or not, you should definitely keep on watching. So let's start with the hard facts. I've bought this foundation for €5.95, so in my opinion pretty affordable for a drugstore foundation, and it claims to be a silicone-free foundation. And it also says that it's a Moosey makeup with light to medium coverage, and it instantly provides a perfect poreless and even complexion without silicones. And it blends seamlessly into the skin for a blurred, natural matte look. And it's for normal and oily skin, and it's vegan. So let's see, because I have normal to dry skin depending on the weather outside. But fortunately it's warm outside now at the moment, so my skin is normal. I think this foundation should work with my skin type at the moment. So I'm really excited to try this out because I have huge pores around my nose. So I'm really curious if this foundation really covers all my pores throughout the day. I really like the packaging, it's very lightweight, but I personally prefer a glass or a plastic bottle with a pump a little bit more because I like to see how much product is left in the bottle. And here it's not visible, and I have mine in the shade 020, and there have been two lighter shades and a darker one. I really don't know if this color fits to my skin tone because I had no chance to test it before, so yeah, I will just make it work somehow. So I've put a little bit on the back of my hand, and I think the color match could be okay, but I really have to say that I've never had so much trouble to get a foundation out of the tube, because it's so hard. It feels a little bit like toothpaste, even a little bit thicker, but when you warm it up with your fingers it gets very soft and moussey. So I really like the texture. The texture of this foundation reminds me a lot of I think it was from Maybelline, the mousse foundation in the little pot. So I have no makeup on my face, I've only applied my daily moisturizer and my under eye cream. And I always like to apply a little bit of primer underneath my foundation. And normally I like to use pore minimizing primers because, like I've mentioned before, I have huge pores. And of course I'm not going to use a pore minimizing primer today because the foundation claims to be a pore minimizing one. So I'm only taking the Aqua Fresh Hydro Primer, also by Catrice. It feels like a very light moisturizer, and of course it's not covering the pores, so that's exactly what we want today. I really don't know, maybe that much. And I just blend it out with my damp beauty sponge. Yes, that's something that I always like to do. Okay, it's definitely harder to blend out than liquid foundations. It's way much easier to blend it into your skin with your fingers. I think the color match is quite good. So let's just blend it into my skin with the fingers. It's definitely easier to blend it out with your fingers because I think of the warmth of your fingers that makes the whole foundation melt into your skin easier and faster. It also works with a damp beauty sponge as well. It only takes a little bit longer to work the foundation into your skin. I think the result is quite good because the foundation has covered all the pores. That's good, and it also looks very natural and flawless on my skin. The coverage is definitely light to medium. You can also build it up, but it's definitely not a full coverage foundation. And it also dries completely matte, but it doesn't dry out my skin at all. But here on my forehead I have dry spots, and these are extremely visible. So yeah, I think it's right to use this foundation only on normal to oily skin. It's a very lightweight foundation, so I can't feel it on my skin. I really like the finish of the foundation, even though this foundation dries matte, because it makes my skin look very flawless and natural. But I've already noticed that my fine lines around my mouth are extremely visible. I'll just do quickly the rest of my makeup off camera. So makeup is done, and it was really easy to apply all the products on the foundation and to blend them into the skin. There was no problem, but I've noticed in the natural sunlight of my bathroom that on this side the foundation looked extremely patchy. This was the side where I've applied the foundation with the beauty sponge, so I would not recommend applying the foundation with a damp beauty sponge. Maybe it works with a brush, I don't know, but it definitely works with the fingers. It looks the best. I was able to fix it with my bronzer and blush and highlight, but just keep that in mind if you want to wear this foundation alone without bronzer, highlight and blush. I will leave the foundation on my skin for at least 8 hours, and about 8 hours I will be back and give you my final opinions about this foundation. By the way, now it's at 10:21 a.m. Now it's 7:15 p.m. and I had this foundation on for 9 hours, so I think I can give you a good review on this foundation. I'm pretty surprised because it didn't wear off the whole day long. It stayed in place because it feels like my skin really absorbed this foundation, and I'm extremely impressed because my pores are still not visible. Maybe the tiniest bit, but yeah, it's better than every other foundation that I've ever tried out, because I was at the sun for about an hour and I was sweating like hell. And normally all my other foundations start to get greasy around my nose when I'm sweating, but this didn't happen here, so it didn't get greasy or oily. It stayed in place. It just looks a little bit dry around my mouth here, and here the fine line is visible, and also here in this area, but on my forehead and the rest of my face it looks very good. And like at the beginning, I have this dry spot here, so that's not extremely beautiful, but it didn't got worse, so it's okay. And it doesn't look patchy, not glowy. Maybe it's a little bit more glowy than 9 hours before, but I think that's definitely okay. So it's definitely true what the foundation claims to do, because it covers the pores perfectly. It's very easy to blend into the skin with your fingers, and it also makes your skin look very natural, very flawless. That's 100% true. But it's also true that it's better for normal to oily skin, because I've seen it on my dry spots. It doesn't look good. So I would not recommend this foundation to people with dry skin. But I think people with oily skin are going to love this foundation. And what I just forgot to mention right after I've applied the foundation was that I don't think that this foundation is going to last very long, because you need very much foundation in comparison to liquid foundations. Pretty sure that I'm going to wear this foundation in summertime when I'm sweating and when my skin is not dry at all. So guys, I really hope this video was helpful for you. Of course, before you leave this channel, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I wish you an amazing day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!